Yep.
Expensive.
Darren, should we start with Notts County? What do you make of them? They've made a solid start by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think they'll do better this season than they did last. I think Sean's sort of the way he goes about it, he'll demand a good work ethic off his players, as he was a very good pro himself as a player. They gave us a really hard game last season, really tough game, and they had a right go at us, and I expect the same this time.
Yeah, are they an up and at them sort of team in the mould of their manager, do you think?
No, I think it's difficult. Generally, managers, you can gauge a team off your manager in terms of how you played and how you want your team to play, I suppose. But I think that from what we've seen and what we've watched on the hard-working team, they've played a couple of different formations. I think they'll have a right go at us, I really do.
They've rebuilt, haven't they, in the summer? He added 16, 17 players and plenty of experience as well, lots of players with a lot of league know-how.
Yeah, they were quite young. There were a few loan players that did very well for them last season, and in the summer he's recruited quite a bit of experience. Roy Carroll, Alan Smith, Gary Jones. They have got good experience, along with some good young players as well. So they've got a good blend, good mix, and they've had a mixed start to the season. But I think it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, unbeaten away in the league so far, and a couple of tough games as well, away at Preston, away at Port Vale, and 4 points from those two matches, so they're in good shape on the road by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think away from home, probably you'd have to say, I might be wrong, what we've seen of them, it probably suits them a little bit better. They've played a diamond shape away from home, so it's something we've got to be aware of. Whether they do that again, I don't know, but I think they'll play the two up against us. I think they'll be on the front foot, and I think they'll press us against us, and we'll do a little bit of more work on that tomorrow. We've generally done everything we need to for Saturday today.
I'm sure the message from you will be reproduce what you did against Port Vale, and things will take care of themselves, really.
Yeah, absolutely. The message to my players will be, continue doing the good work we've done, maintain the work ethic we've got. We're in a good place, but we know ourselves from last season that it can all change very, very quickly. It's important that we keep that mentality to try and win games. If the opposition get any good period of possession in the game, make sure we're solid and we keep our shape, because generally if we do that, we have got players that are quick and can counter-attack if we have to play that way. But of course we demand that we get control of the game and possession, really.
Yeah. And the point you've made a couple of times this season is that when you've had setbacks, you've adjusted very well and you've bounced back very well, which I guess is testament to the character in this young squad.
Yeah, I think Port Vale was a good example of. I didn't think we started the game particularly well, but we didn't let it get to us. Obviously, a great goal from Marcus got us going, and then second half they had periods where they had outnumbered us in midfield and the central areas because of the way they played, but we didn't panic about that. Whereas I think maybe before last season we might have got out of a shape or whatever, and then we just picked them off, really. But I thought we were very disciplined last week, and the manner of our goals were really good.
Yeah, that's a good point, that, isn't it? Because I remember several times last season at home when the game hadn't started that well, that was kind of the pattern of the 90 minutes, and it was very difficult to get out of that sort of lack of rhythm. But this season that's not been the case at all.
No, it hasn't. And what we stress to them is keep good discipline in the team, no gaps, good shape. We do a lot of work on it, and a lot of work on our attacking football, which we've done again this morning. And we're playing a slightly different way to what we have done in the past, but we have got 2 or 3 different formations we can go into. So I think it's important if we're going to play with width, get the wide players the ball. Simple as that.
I think you've got a couple coming back heavy this weekend. Would Joe Newell and Cozzy have a chance?
Yeah, they've both trained today, so they'll be back, which is important. We're gradually getting them back, and I think I'm not going to be risking anyone. I want to try and clear up all the injuries and then sort of start again if you want. It's important we don't get any more. We have it a lot, especially in such a short period of time. We've dealt with it very, very well, but I think it's important we try and clear all the injuries up and not risk anyone, really.
I guess the beauty is that because of the form you're in, you don't need to try and rush people back and think, well, it's key that we get him back because he might add this or that, because you're looking in good shape as a side.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to be risking anyone that feels that could make it worse. And saying that, if I think they're fit and I think they're going to add to my team on Saturday, then I'll bring people back in. It's not a case of always just going with a team that's just one. I've got to pick what I think is the right team on the right day, but I have no complaints about the way that they've gone about it as a group, because we've had to use everyone. It's been really pleasing to see what they've done.
Would Zaquani come back into the squad equation, or will it depend on when he gets back and how he's doing?
He's back tomorrow morning. Seems like he's been away forever, Gabby, but he'll be all right. Gavi's Gavi and he'll be fine. He'll be back in the squad.
Yeah. Nice that the injuries are settling down though, because it has been when you've never known anything like it. I don't think, have you?
It's just been a combination of a couple coming back, a couple getting injured. Same, you know, it's a pattern that seems to be growing and growing. But like I say, I think we've just hopefully touchwood got through the worst of it, and now we're starting gradually to get bodies back, and then it becomes a real problem for not only picking an 11 but picking an 18. It's probably harder to pick my bench than it would be the starting 11.
Yeah, I was going to say you'll be loath to change too much, I'm sure, this weekend because of the performance last Saturday.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's not much to change. I thought the performance was good as a team. I felt the ones that came into the team did well. So I would have no complaints going with the same 11.
Although that said, Vassell keeps giving you a problem, doesn't he? Because when he's been on the bench, generally he's come off it and scored. Yeah,
it was purely. I felt in the game against Orient he looked a little bit short physically, and I've got to keep that in mind. And because really, now Ty's gone, I've only got the 3 of them really. There's 1 or 2 others that could play there, but really 3 strikers. And I will be rotating them. There's no question about that. I won't be continually playing them. But then again, as a manager, a problem could be that if someone just keeps scoring and scoring and scoring, I'll have to manage him in a different way. And if that's the case, he may have to play. But physically, he just looked a bit short on the Tuesday, and to be fair, he admitted that when it came to the decision being picked on the Saturday.
Barnett to Oxford was a case of getting him some games really. I think he's been one that's been sort of looking elsewhere for a while, has he?
Yeah, we felt we were going to get it done before the deadline, but it fell through. He's keen to go out and play. I've spoken many times about trying to get numbers out of the door, and Ty was the one that we felt that the clubs would be interested in. So he'll go there for 3 months, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, could there be a permanent at the end of that if it's successful?
I think it's a club that have aspirations for getting up and getting promoted. I think there's not many in League 2 that would probably be able to afford them, but I think they are one that could. And I think there's been a talk of that, but obviously they can have a look at him, he can have a look at them if it works, and hopefully something can happen permanently.
Yeah. Just finally, Dan, the scouting network's been getting a lot of attention, I think, nationally this week. Again, obviously we've all seen it over the years, haven't we? Players coming through and you picking good ones from the lower leagues, but you're doing it again, and it's really paying off once more. Yeah,
there was a large scouting list for the game. That's probably also because there's not many other games on because of the international week. But no, when a team's doing well in a league, and I think it's been well spoken of that we are very young this season, and I suppose that gets around and people will look, but we've had it many times over many years now, then we just deal with it accordingly, and I'm just glad the window's shut.
But it just shows the philosophy's paying off, and you must be proud of that as a club.
No, we are. There's no question. We are proud of that. The philosophy is working. There's no question, and it's good when it works the way it does, and for it to work really, it needs a lot of backing from different people. What we do well, I feel, is we recruit well in the sense that we're sort of aware of what sort of player might be going. Britt, we felt, was one that if it was going to be anyone, it would be him. So we had Luke in mind for a long time. Obviously it took a while to get it done, but that was up to Hartlepool. But we reinvest well, I think, in sort of the sales we have, and I think we've done that well.
Good luck.
Thanks, Darren. Thank you.
Just over here.
Why doesn't he come over?
No, we didn't. Ben.